You say in your book, there is no history of the black man settling down with one woman
Right.
and never desiring to have another, before slavery, during slavery, or after slavery. The black man has never been recorded to have just one woman.
Right. Well, I think there's some actual facts we can look at on that. Monogamy has failed for the white man in America.
But this is like saying it's okay.
It's not me saying it's okay. This is how they're living. I'm giving you the history of what their life is. Black men haven't been waiting on me to tell them it's all right to have more than one woman. Neither have white men. You know, this is just what they do. I'm not talking about fornication and adultery. I'm not talking about one-night stands and running around rampant with other women. That's not the kinds of, when I say more than one woman relationship. I mean that before we came to America, our men had more than one wife and family. And we were satisfied with it because we had not met the monogamy idea. We had not met the American white woman who, you know, insists on certain kinds of values in her man. We had not learned envy and jealousy. All right. After coming here, those kinds of ideas were bred into us because of society and the mores that the Americans made up here. And so then we started to have problems with that. But I think that since it is apparent that most of them, not all of them, it's certainly up to the man, do love more than one woman. I got tons of mail. A lot of black men write and tell me that they have had two women for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years, and they can't even get the women to speak to each other. Sometimes they have two families.
Would I want to talk to a woman who's sharing perhaps the bed and the money and the social life with who I would deem as my man?
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that that robs you of something, you would want to know them. If he loves her, you certainly should want to know her.
There are a lot of black women out there who say,
I know they're mad about that idea. I understand, you know.
That would never hold water.
Wait a minute, that's not easy. And that's a frightening thought to most of us. And I don't like that. I'm not for that. I'm in agreement with everybody else. Our men ought to just have one woman. But that is not the reality. I'm trying to get us to deal with some reality for a change. Stop dealing with fantasy. Stop dealing with television. Stop dealing with imagination of how we wish things were. Let's deal with them how they are, what it is, present tense. And
but
if we
because
deal
that's
with that,
happening
then,
doesn't mean I have to like that or
no,
want
that
to
means
accept
that you can live in hell. That means you can live in doubt. That means that you can always be checking on your man. That means that you can be insecure and be, tearful. And that means you can be disappointed when you find out the real truth. And you don't want to have that in your life. None of us do. But in order not to have that, then we have to deal with some reality and recognize that men are not limited in the way that women are. Men are able to love more than one woman. I'm not talking about, as I said, just a random sexual relationship of fornication and adultery and all of that. I mean that there are many black men who have children by more than one woman. What is to become of those children? They need their father.
But if you would cheat on me or walk out on me.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. We have to get into definition. Who told us that was cheating? Where did that idea come from that that's cheating? And I'm not saying that a lot of men are not just running around. I'm not talking about that. But if a woman finds out that her man has been with a woman while she's been with him for 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's a serious commitment in relationship. And if it hasn't taken anything from me, if I'm not going short of anything, and if this is what he thinks his responsibility is, then what kind of hell are you going to go through to prevent that? Since we cannot stop him, we have not been successful. The white woman has not been successful in stopping the white man from having another woman. They call them a mistress. We pick up a lot of that terminology. But a man who has 2 women, that's not necessarily a mistress. That's just his other woman. Now we got 2 choices. We can be the woman or the other woman. We don't have it, those 2. Now I know we don't like that. I don't like that, but that's the reality of our life at some point. Now it's up to the man. But every man doesn't want 2 women, but those that do, they're going to do it.
What about our morals and our religion?
Whose religion? Whose morals? Not our religion, because we're not practicing the religion of black people anymore. That was taken from us. We don't have our morals anymore. That was taken from us. So whose idea are you representing when you stand up for those values? Not ours. Somebody else's, some other nationality. And it may work for them, but it doesn't work for us. It hasn't worked for anybody, really, but nobody wants to deal with the truth. Monogamy was only created because of the economics of it.
Take it down out. Take it down. All right, shalom. Clap it up for the class. I'm Priest and Officer Ashar Gapan of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under commanding General Yohana, we've been teaching the truth of this Bible, that all blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans are the real children of God, the real 12 tribes of Israel. I'm holding down the class today for General Mahyman. He's busy doing some work and tests, so I will be holding down the class today. Today is ISUPK history class, and today we're going to be going into the history of having multiple wives. Now, the title of the class is Many Wives, One Wife, or No Wife. Now, according to God, according to the Bible, a man is allowed to have as many wives as he wants.
Right.
A man can have only one wife. A man can also have no wives. Now, if you disagree with me, I encourage you to look into the Bible, type into Google, ask Siri, ask Alexa, ask whoever you think can help you. Go ask your bishop, go ask your deacon, pastor, priest, whoever it is. Ask them to show you a scripture where it is a sin for a man to have more than one wife. Again, I'm going to repeat it very clearly and very specifically to show you where it is a sin for a man to have more than one wife. Now, to further help you with this endeavor that you're gonna waste time and be in vain trying to search for, find a law in the Bible that forbids a man to have more than one wife, and then show me the punishment for that law, because a sin is the transgression of a law, right? So with that said, what I want you to do, also Parataza, I would like for you to go to, let's go to Isaiah chapter 3. We're gonna start in Isaiah chapter 3. If you can share that on the screen, all right?
Come.
Hit yeah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah, Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. You
Isaiah.
You just passed it.
So
Keep going up.
there you
up.
go, right
Right
there.
there.
Chapter 3,
Chapter 3.
verse 1.
Go to verse 16. Start
All
at
right.
verse 16.
Isaiah. Chapter 3, verse 16.
Go back to StreamYard. Yeah, let's bring that up on the screen. You can leave it right there. Make sure you're reading 16, all right? Make sure 16 is showing.
Oh, come. I'm about to scroll down that right now.
You might want to minimize that. That's that right.
Oh, yeah. When I read it, I had to blow it up. Salakia.
No sweat. Go ahead, read out.
Come. Isaiah. Chapter
3.
Chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Most High saith, because the daughter of Zion are haughty.
Now, right here, the daughter of Zion, whether you disagree or whether you disagree or not, the daughters of Zion are what we call so-called black women today, so-called Hispanic women today, so-called Native American women today. In modern day, that is the daughter of Zion. In ancient days, we were called our women were called the daughters of Zion. Today, our women are called black, Hispanic, Latino, Latina. They're called Native American, Indigenous American. They called all these different words when our women were addressed as the daughters of Zion, the daughters of Israel, the daughters of God. Keep reading.
Khan. And walk with the stretched forth neck.
Read it from the beginning.
Khan. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Most High saith, because the daughter of Zion are haughty and walk with the stretched forth necks.
Now, because the women of Zion are carrying themselves in such a way, right? Hold on one second. are carrying themselves in such a haughty way. Like haughty can be disdainful, very arrogant, as if they're superior or better, with a stretched forth neck. That's how you know, having their neck up too high, being proud and nothing, their crap don't stink. Right? A very proud look, proud demeanor. Keep going.
Khan. Stretch forth necks and wanted eyes, walking and menacing as they go, and making a twinkling with their feet.
Right. So walking around, mincing in a very delicate manner, right? Our women are doing this thinking that they're better than us. When I say us, I mean the men, right? If you can look, you can see all the examples you need on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. You have all these girls that are all our women that go on social media and show themselves in a manner that is unlike the daughters, that is unlike the natural manner of the daughters of Zion. Our women are no longer being humble. Our women are no longer being respectful to their men or to men, right? Our women are conducting themselves in a manner that is destructive to the growth of Black, Hispanic, and Native American households, right? Keep reading.
Khan. Verse 17. Therefore, the Most High will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion.
And you know what the punishment the Most High has bestowed our beautiful Black, Hispanic, and Native American women? The Lord has smited them with a scab at the crown of their head. You know, one of the problems that Black women, Hispanic women, and Native American women are facing is baldness, right? You see Black women, Hispanic women all in the salons trying to get hair extensions because their hair is no longer growing and falling out, trying to get weaves and lace fronts and back fronts and side fronts and all kinds of hair partitions because they're losing their natural beauty, which was normally their hair. Instead of having that beautiful crown, that beautiful full head of hair, their head has become scabs, baldness. That is what has befallen our beautiful women because they are choosing to conduct themselves unlike the manner of a daughter of Zion, of a daughter of Israel. Keep reading.
Khan. And the Most High will discover their secret parts.
You want to know what that secret part is? That secret part is you on a date with a man and him staring at your forehead and thinking that your skin is peeling off because that weave that you super glued down to your forehead is now coming off, right? That secret part when you're on when you're walking around and the wind blows your wig off and now you see this cap with your real hair underneath that's being hid by that wig, right? Those secret parts, you having all these STDs now everyone is finding out about. This is what those secret parts are that the Lord is discovering. The Lord is showing the world your ugliness. The Lord is showing the world how unattractive you truly are because of how our women are conducting themselves. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 18. In that day, the Most High, in that day,
right? Keep going.
The Most High will take away the bravery of their tinkling. Ornaments about their feet and their calls and their round tires like the moon.
Listen, our women in ancient days used to wear these things with humbleness, with actual beauty, right? Now you have our women walking around like a $5 prostitute,
Right.
very cheap. Now I'm pretty sure some words would be skank, a whore, right? A floozy, right? All these type of words you can think of to describe a woman with very low value because of how she conducts herself. Meanwhile, the world is trying to make the movement of single women and hot girl summer and city girls something positive. But we have examples like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and what's her face? The one that looks like a man. Sexy Red. Having all these examples showing you how women shouldn't act, but it is being promoted as something positive. These women are showing a front, right? They have a front on, those tinkling ornaments about their feet, those cows that normally would protect the back of their head as a covering, right? The round tires, the big hooped earrings. You know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, you saw black women, Hispanic women. They were beautiful. They were more covered up, right? They had those big hoop earrings, and it was something of value, something that added to their beauty. Now it's more of like you see a girl wearing that or acting that way, and you automatically think to yourself, she's easy. She's a whore. I could probably hit it a couple of times and toss it to the side. But this behavior is what is being promoted on the internet. This behavior is what is being promoted on social media and is being pushed onto our kids, especially our daughters. Keep going.
Come. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 19. The chain and the bracelet and the mufflers.
Right? Or more ornaments, more things that our women would have worn with such beauty and pride and humility. Keep going.
Come. Verse 20. The bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings.
Our women used to be fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine seeing a woman with humility, covered up, dressing properly, just decked out with these jewels. That's a beautiful sister, right? Her head covered, right? Having her real hair, not some weave or lace front. Having these nice ornaments on her feet that trinkle and tink and chime when she walks. Her walking very delicately. You know, some women out here walking like men. Here in New York City, I know it's a rough city, but there has to be some type of our women need to regain that delicate manner that we've lost, that our people have lost. Our women, as you seeing the description of Isaiah chapter 3, our women used to be beautiful beyond belief, dressed a certain way, smelled a certain way, looked a certain way. Keep going.
Come. Verse 21. The rings and the nose jewels.
What man don't like a nice little nose ring on a sister, right? Keep going. What, you want to say something?
Oh, the small hats, the curly fries on the side, saying that it's unlawful for nose rings or nose jewelry.
Is that a chat?
Huh?
Is that on the chat?
No. This is what they push a locket.
Okay, well, listen. The Jewish man, they follow the Talmud, and according to them, they can sleep with young boys as long as he's not of a certain age. So I wouldn't trust any LGBTQ member or any man that thinks it is okay to sexually assault children on anything that has to do with the Bible. Keep going.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 22. The changeable suits of apparel and the
Mantles.
Mantles and the wimples and the crippling pins.
Right? Again, it's just talking about more ornaments, more jewelry, more clothing, more accessories that our women would wear that would just add to their natural beauty. Keep going.
Khan, verse 23. The glasses and the fine linens and the hood and the veils.
Our sisters will fly, right? You look at women today, you know, you might be fortunate. You might see a woman that's dressed modestly and still looks stunning. Meanwhile, you turn on BET or you turn on some music video and you have our women almost half naked, if not fully naked, right? Showing the entire world what should be only showing the entire world what is meant for just their husband. Keep going.
Khan.
Wait, hold on. Any comments, questions? Go back.
Oh yeah, I ain't seen no questions. Yeah, I've
Go
been
back.
scrolling it down. Let me see.
Officer
Oh, it
Karak.
just happened. Yeah, it just happened right here.
Yeah, put that on the screen.
Khan.
Shout out to Officer Karak out there in California. Go ahead, read his comment.
Khan. Judith. The book of Judith, chapter 10, verse 19. And they wondered at the beauty and admired the children of Israel because of her. And everyone said to his neighbor, who would despise this people, that have among them such women.
Listen, our women were so bad. Bad meaning good, good meaning beautiful. Our women were so bad. And anyone would just look at us and say, look at them. Who would despise? Who would hate? Who would be against a nation of people, especially when their women look this beautiful? Our sisters were amazing. And our sisters in the UPK are still amazing. But that's not enough. We want all of the women of Israel to be amazing. We want every single Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman to be daughters of Zion again. All right? You can drop that and go back to the scriptures, right?
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 23.
Now,
24. Salaki.
Now remember, in a few verses back, it said in that day. So it's talking about a specific day. Now, I'm telling you, our women have lost all those things. Our women are no longer representations of what a daughter of Zion used to be. We have us as a nation. We have strayed so far away from what we used to be. Keep going.
Khan. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24. And it shall come to pass.
And it has come to pass. And let's find out what has happened. Keep going.
That instead of sweet smell.
What?
Sweet smell.
Listen, our sisters, if it wasn't for Carl gas oils, our sisters would be smelling nasty, right? If it wasn't for that, our women out there, that sweet smell that they normally would have, that natural scent, or even when they add oils, that used to be a sweet smell. But keep going.
Sweet smells, there shall be stink.
There's a stink. Our women's pH balances are all over the place because they put in too many rods inside their private parts. They're sucking on too many rods. They're going from one man to the other. That stink when they get that STD like chlamydia and gonorrhea, and what's the other one? Venereal disease or
trichonoma.
Whatever the heck that is, you know what I'm saying? It stinks. It makes you stink. Oh, our women can't. They wanna go shake their behind on Instagram and TikTok. Meanwhile, they're on their period. Meanwhile, they haven't washed their behind. They haven't cleaned in between those crevices, and you see some nasty things flying around. That's that stink. Keep going.
Khan. And instead of the girdle.
You know what a girdle was for? A girdle was to make sure everything stayed nice and tight to keep that shape. You know what I'm saying? Like women are fighting to do now. All those waist trainers, going to sleep with their waist trainer, taking a shower with their waist trainer, eating with their waist trainer, working out with their waist trainer. They're doing all these things with their waist trainer. You know, that was a sign of beauty, you know, to keeping everything tight to look proper in your dress. Keep going.
Con. And instead of their girdle, a rent.
Now it's all busted. Our women are all busted, trying to gain a figure back. That would be a lot easier if they stuck to the dietary laws of the Bible. Our women are over here in Planet Fitness and Gold's Gym, trying to do the Stairmax 3000 and trying to do all these deadlifts and squats just so they can go eat crab, shrimp, and lobster. What is that going to do for you? Keep going.
Con. And instead of well-set hair baldness.
Instead of what?
Well-set hair baldness.
You know, instead of having that beautiful hair on top of your head, instead of having that beautiful long hair that you can straighten, right? You can curl, you can put it in braids. You have baldness. Bald, nothing there. Now you got to cover it up with weave. You know, that stuff smells. You take after you put the solution to unsuper glue what you just glued to your forehead, and after sweating all day, that weave smells. Keep going.
Con. And instead of a
stomacher, like a nice beautiful garment, something that's beautiful. Let me give you the actual definition. I looked it up earlier. A richly ornamented garment covering the stomach and chest. So imagine having a garment that covers your stomach and chest, and there's just gems all over it, rubies and crystals and diamonds and gold. But instead of that, our women have a what?
Con. Instead of a stomacher, a garment.
No. A girding of sackcloth.
A girding of sackcloth.
Some cheap, rough-feeling clothing that you're putting on yourself. You went from looking beautiful to something that's cheap. You went from something that's royal to something that's for slaves. Keep going.
Con. And burning instead of beauty.
Listen, use your imagination on what burning is. Burning is. You used to be beautiful, having one man and being with him for the rest of your life. That was considered beautiful. That was considered honor. Now you're just burning. Now you're burning because of, you could call it some type of STD. Now you're burning because your face is covered with all types of boils, and you're trying every cream and solution and skin peels to rejuvenate your skin. Right? Keep going.
Con.
It's like a what? Go back.
Con right here.
What's the comment?
Con. Salakia, sir. If I may, the CEO at on Rikers Island said all he smelled in the cell is a.
Listen, I don't blame him. Women get locked up and are in rough situations when they could be home in nice, sweet, delicate situations, and it smells like nothing but dirty behind. Keep reading.
Con. Isaiah chapter 3 verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword.
Isn't that what's happening today? Don't our women already display these lacks? And to add on to that, to give you more proof that we are in that day, it says, thy men shall fall by the sword. Our men are in these streets unaliving each other, using firearms and ending the life of their brother. We have the Mexican cartel, all these different Mexican cartels, the Juarez cartel, the Medellin cartel, all the Sinaloa cartel. All these brothers, all these so-called Mexicans from the tribe of Issachar decided to have a day of peace, to no longer go out there and unalive innocent people and their rivals, because some Japanese man who made Dragon Ball Z passed away. For some disgusting heathen, they had a ceasefire. No one was wasting no one. No one was using a firearm to unalive anyone because of a heathen that made a cartoon passed away. But they can't make a ceasefire because innocent Mexican boys are being unalived. They can't make a ceasefire because innocent Mexican girls are being sexually assaulted and left for dead. They can't do a ceasefire for that. Keep reading.
Khan. And the mighty in the war.
And our mighty men are going to war with each other. And not just with each other, our mighty men are fighting for our oppressor. You know how many Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans fill the ranks of the military, the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force, the Army, Space Force? You know how many of our people actually go and enlist in the Israeli military for citizenship? They go to Canada for citizenship and fight in their armies. We go to all these different countries and nations and governments and enlist in their armies and their militaries and their navies just so we can have citizenship. And when we go to war, who's the first ones to have their lives taken? Our mighty. Those men should be in these ranks, helping Commanding General Yohana force the Lord to bring Christ back, to allow the Lord to allow Christ to come back. But instead, our mighty men are busy fighting for heathens against other heathens. Our mighty men are too busy unaliving each other. Keep going.
Khan, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 26. And her gates shall lament and mourn.
You know what? Our women, they're at the front door of their apartment crying because her man is gone. Our mothers are at the front door of their house because our fathers are gone. Their sons have been wasted away in some nonsense war. Right? Our children have to grow up without fathers because they're too busy filling the prison system. Keep going.
Khan. And she, being desolate, shall sit upon the ground.
And you know what? Our women right now have nothing. That's why our women look up to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj and Sexy Red and Glorilla and all these other women who are whores or portray themselves to be whores. They look at them and think they can have exactly what they have. They look at Beyonce and think they can have the same life of Beyonce when our women have nothing. Keep going.
Khan. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day.
And what?
And in that day.
Here we go with the phrase, and in that day. We already went over a whole bunch of circumstances that our women and men are in. It's happening right now. This is that day. This is that day. For you to argue against it, you have to show me somewhere where these things aren't happening. This is that day. Keep going.
7 women.
How many?
7 women.
You mean 1 woman?
7 women.
2 women?
7 women.
4 women?
7 women.
7 women. Keep going.
Shall take hold.
Shall what?
Shall take hold.
Now this is not GMS. This is not 7 women sexually assaulting and molesting a man. Take hold meaning attaching themselves to, wanting to belong. Keep going.
Of one man.
Of what?
One man.
Listen, what are you reading right now?
Oh, I'm reading Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1
And this
in the
is
Old
in the
Testament.
Bible. This is in the Bible. Anyone that has a Bible at home, your Christian pastor, your bishop, your deacon, your friar, your cardinal, your deacon, your pastor, preacher, minister, whatever title you give your religious leaders who are teaching you a false doctrine, you can go and open up the Bible. And when you turn to Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, you'll see that in this day, in that day, 7 women are going to take hold of one man. That means this one man is going to have 7 wives. Now, we're getting into the whole point of today's class. How a man can have 1 wife. A man can have 2 wives, 3 wives, many wives. Or a man could have none. Keep reading that.
Khan. Saying, we will eat our own bread.
What are the women saying to their husband? Now remember, these 7 women are saying the same exact thing to their husband. These 7 women belong to one man, and they're all telling this one man, what?
We will eat our own bread.
Listen, we don't have to, we ain't gonna do nothing but eat our own bread. We're gonna have our own apartments. We're gonna have our own jobs. We're gonna cook our own food. We'll grow our own food, right? But we want to be with you. All these, think of these 7 independent women, strong-minded, strong-headed, independent women. One's a lawyer, one's a doctor, one's a nurse, one's a teacher, one's an economist, one's a businesswoman. 7 women, all strong and independent, but they all want to belong to the same man, telling the same man that we will eat our own bread. You ain't got to give us nothing. We're going to eat our own bread. You ain't got to pay our rent. We're going to eat our own bread. Hold on. Just the bag is right there. Just hand her the bag, all right? All right. All right, so come on in, all right? So all these 7 women want to belong. Hold on, you should come to class another day because of what you have on your head. All right, just give her the bag. Yep. All right. Yeah, we're not gonna allow that into the school. So all those women are going to be able to provide for themselves just as long as they can take hold of this one man. Keep going.
Khan. Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1. And wear our own apparel.
So they want their husband to buy them clothing?
Oh, and wear our own apparel.
Listen, if that woman wants to wear Gucci, Prada, Versace, and all this stuff, her husband don't need to buy it for her. She can buy it herself. She can go make her own clothing. She can go buy the fabric, measure it, cut it out, try it on, fix it up, pin it up, sew it up. She's wearing her own apparel now. She doesn't need this man to buy her clothing. She just wants to take hold of this man. She wants to belong to this man. Keep going.
Come. Only let us be called by thy name.
So these 7 women that want this one man, each woman will eat their own bread, support themselves. Each woman will wear their own apparel, clothe themselves. But all they want from this man, they desire this one thing from this man. All 7 want what?
Only let us be called by thy name.
All they want is just to be called by that man's name. They want to be known. All 7 women want to belong to this one man, and they all want this one man, and they only want to be called by this man's name. So we got Paratzaza in this room. All 7 women want to be known by Paratzaza's wife. Oh, those are Paratzaza's wives over there. Oh, that's Captain Tazariak's wives over there. Those are General Hazayun's wives over there. When a sister introduces herself, when you're getting food at Passover,
that's right,
you might ask her, Thank you, sis. Oh, whose husband are you? Oh, I'm the wife of Captain Mashah. Oh, I'm the wife of Karatazar. Oh, I'm the wife of Itazab. All they want is to be called by the name of that man. All right. Don't worry about that. Just let them check you in. We're doing class right now, right? All right. And the last part of the verse is to take away our reproach. Each one of these 7 women want to take away the wrongdoings of their past lives. Maybe one, was Tanisha from the block and all the men knew her because of how easy she was. Right? Maybe the other one named Juanita, right? She was addicted to drugs. And she wants to belong to this man, Parataza or Abadia, so she don't have to worry about this drug addiction that she used to have. Because now this man is taking away that reproach. It's fixing her up. It's getting her to be straight and narrow. You 12? Right?
Sir.
Hold on.
Come.
Right? Go back to the comments.
Come. Yeah, we got a few. We can go start it right here.
Read it.
Khan, priest officer, Karak. There is a woman with seven children that want one man to love her. But women can't understand 7 women loving one man.
And that's absolutely true. You have this one woman that you see these single moms. Shout out to single moms. Y'all trending on TikTok right now with that single mom song. A single mom who have 5 children, 7 children, 3, 4 different baby daddies. All she wants is just one man to love her when she has 5 children. She just wants one man that's gonna truly love her, be there, support her, never abandon her. And she got 6, 7 kids. But no woman wants to accept the fact that it's possible that 7 women can all belong to one man. They don't want to accept the idea that one man can be married to 2 wives, can have 3 women, 4 women. That is not easy to be accepted as a woman with 5 children wanting one man to love her. You already have one man to love you. That's how you had your first 2 kids. Then you had another man to love you who gave you your 3rd kid. Then you had another man that loved you and gave you 3 more kids. And now you just want one man that's really going to love you. You should have picked wisely and stayed with the first man that loved you. Right? Go back to the comments.
Oh, come. We got priest officer Marshamar Ayash. I thought the man.
Can you put his comment on?
Oh, come, Salaki. I thought the man.
Abadia, can you fix the current bubble shot? Keep going.
Had enough money to take care of all the women.
Listen, according to this scripture, a man don't need to have enough money to take care of all these women. We ain't Muslims. This isn't Islam. This is the culture of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? You can take that down.
Come.
I want you to go to now. Let's get into some examples. Right? Actually, no. First, go into the Gmail account.
Oh, come, Gmail. All right.
Open up the first email.
This one right here?
Yep.
Julie. All right.
Click the first link. Share this.
All right. We're going to share.
Right now, we're living in 2024, the United States of America, with a government and society that's fashioned very similarly to how the Romans did it, to how the Greeks did it, right? Since the Romans downfall or the end of their great empire civilization, we have all these small little nations and governments that came out of Rome that still carried its traditions, like France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Great Britain, America, right? So we share the same customs or similar customs as America's progenitor, which is Rome. Can you put that on the screen, please?
Khan.
Read that.
Khan. Could men have multiple wives in ancient Rome?
So here's the question. The question is, could men have multiple wives in ancient Rome? Right? Now, according to this Bible, we can go into what people call as the Apocrypha or the New Testament, and we can see how Israel was in captivity during the Greek Empire, during the Roman Empire, how we were fighting to hold on to our culture, our customs, our laws, our God, and we can see how many of our people fell into the lusts of the Romans and the Greeks. So here's the question. Go back.
Khan.
Stay there, okay?
Khan.
Could men have multiple wives in ancient Rome? Let's find out from one source. Scroll down, please. Read it right there.
Khan.
Wait, hold on. Making sure we're on the same page. Yes.
Right.
Go ahead, read.
Khan. Ancient Rome was a particular society.
No, it was a patriarchal.
Salakia, patriarchal society, which means that men have complete control over women and family life,
which is biblical based as well. Men were the head of the household. Keep going.
Women were seen as property of their fathers or husband and have very little control over their own lives.
Now, according to the Bible, women were the property of their fathers. Their fathers were the ones that raised that daughter, fed that daughter, showed that daughter how it is to be a man, to be a woman, make sure that the right man was given, that the right man was able to obtain his daughter. A father just wouldn't give his daughter to just anyone. He according to Israelite culture and custom, the man would have to go to the father and request and ask permission to marry his daughter, and the father could refuse. That was our culture. Once the woman, according to the Bible, was married to that man had full responsibility over that woman, like when she was a young girl and her father had full responsibility over her. Keep going.
Gone. Polygamy was practiced among the upper classes in Rome.
Now here, polygamy, we get into all these newer concept words, right? Polygamy, the ability to polygamy is the practice of marrying. Hold on. Come on. Polygamy is the practice of marrying multiple spouses. So here, polygamy, a man can marry multiple spouses. A woman can marry multiple spouses. That's what it means by polygamy. All right, keep going.
Which means that some men have multiple wives.
Which what?
Some men that have multiple wives.
So it's saying that according to this one source, right? The upper class of Rome, some men had more than one wife. Keep going.
This was seen as a sign of wealth and power and was not available to everyone.
So here, according to the source, only the high class of Roman society, the men, were able to marry more than one wife. According to the Bible, the poorest man was able to marry more than one wife.
Right.
A man did not need to have money, didn't need to have wealth to have 2 wives, 3 wives. That's not a precursor to be able to have more than one wife. Keep going.
Come. While it is not known exactly how many Roman men had multiple wives, it is thought that it was a small minority.
So it's a small portion of men that had multiple wives in upper class Roman society. Keep going.
Come. There is no definitive answer to this question, as there is no clear evidence on one way or the other.
Okay, keep scroll down.
Come.
To the next part.
Next part. How many wives could a Roman emperor have?
Now, the upper class of Roman society, the emperor of Rome. How many wives could an emperor have? Keep going.
Come. While it is true that emperors and other well-to-do men in Greek or Rome were monogamously married to just one wife at a time.
What?
One wife at a time.
Married to one wife at a time. All right. That means this man married this one woman. If he doesn't want to be with her anymore, he'll be able to get rid of her and marry another woman. Right? It says it. The well-to-do men in Greece or Rome were monogamously married to just one wife at a time. You know where we get that from in today's day and age? That Roman culture, that Roman society, is through the Catholic Church, it's through the Christian church. Right? Hold that and go to I want you to go to Luke 16:18.
Come. Luke chapter 16, verse 18.
Luke chapter 16, verse 18. You want to know who changed the truth of God into a lie? It was the Romans. Because after the Romans, this idea of being monogamous spread throughout the entire earth like wildfire. Because so-called white people conquered the known world, bringing about their religion of Christianity, Catholicism to the entire world. You want to know who changed the truth of God into a lie? We see an example of Romans doing it, and we're going to see it right here in the Bible. Keep going.
Come. Luke chapter 16, verse 18. Whosoever putteth away his wife and marrieth another.
Stop. Whatever man gets rid of his wife, puts away his wife, abandons his wife, divorces his wife, and then marries another, just like we see in this article that a Roman man would only marry one wife at a time. We're seeing it here. We're getting this example right from here. Because back in Moses' time, Moses allowed divorce because of how disobedient children we were. So he suffered us. Moses was tired of the complaining, the moaning, the groaning, the disobedience to the Lord. So he allowed a divorce to be made. But Christ said that wasn't supposed to be like that. From the beginning, a man was never supposed to get rid of his wife. From the beginning, a woman was never supposed to leave her husband. But here, during the time of Luke, we were in Roman captivity. We see that Roman men were allowed to marry one wife, were allowed to marry one woman at a time. So if they wanted to marry another woman, they would have to get rid of that woman first to marry that other woman. Here in Luke chapter 16 and 18, it says, whatever man gets rid of his wife, pause, because this man already knows he wants to marry another woman. And since we are living in Roman society, we are not allowed to have more than one woman. Because we are living in Roman society, if we want to be with another woman, we have to get rid of our woman first. Since we're living in American society, under American laws, with American customs, the customs of America dictate that if you're married to a woman and you want to be with another woman, you have to get rid of your first woman before you can get with that other woman. Keep going.
Khan. And marrieth another, committed adultery.
Committed what?
Adultery.
Committed what?
Adultery.
Now, adultery, which is not cheating, like Western civilization has popularized, adultery is a sin. There are laws in the Bible against committing adultery. Now, if you don't know what adultery is, I'll give you two examples of adultery. Adultery is when a man sleeps with a woman that already has a man. That is adultery. Now, if you think only men can commit adultery, you're wrong. Adultery is also when a woman who already has a man sleeps with another man that is not her husband. That is adultery. Keep going.
Khan. And whosoever marrieth her that is put away from her husband.
Any man that ends up marrying, sleeping with a woman, you gonna say something? Any man that sleeps with a woman that has been put away, thrown away, divorced by her husband, when he sleeps with that woman, he commits adultery. Imagine that. You think you're walking around 2024 up and down Chicago or Los Angeles or right here in Harlem. You see a woman like, damn, she's beautiful. Let me take my time to get to know her. Let me court her. Let me talk to her. Go on dates. And you know what? I think it's time that I want to, be with her, lay with her. Meanwhile, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, she was sleeping with another man who now is no longer with her. And now here you are committing adultery. That's disgusting and it sucks, doesn't it? You want to say something?
In that scenario you just gave, she's while you're meeting her and courting her, etc. She says, you say, well, tell me about yourself. She said, well, I'm divorced. So if you sleep with her, that's adultery.
That is all adultery. In this side, that is all adultery, right?
Despite the years.
Despite the years, because right, Christ said that wasn't supposed to be so from the beginning. Whatever man a woman sleeps with, that's his for life. Whatever woman, or that woman who has a husband, that's her husband for life. Now, because Christ came here to offer us a chance of repentance, to save us from our sins, so that way we can live a better life. We all have the ability to start living life according to these laws, statutes, and commandments. We all have the ability to be what Christians like to say, and they abuse, born again. We can all be born again. We can all be baptized with fire, like it says in the Bible, right? So that's an opportunity to start again. But you have to be changed. You have to be completely changed. All right? Go back to the article.
Oh, Khan.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I see this right
Go
here.
Miss Coco the Don. What does Miss Coco the Don say?
Miss Coco the Don Shalom. So a man is able to have as many wives as he desire.
Stop. To answer this first question, yes. A man can have as many wives as he desires. Yes. To answer that part of your question, absolutely. Now, is a man responsible enough? Is a man going to be a good husband to those women? Is a man fit and capable of being a husband to those wives? Listen, not every man should have more than one wife. There's some men out there that should be single for the rest, that should be alone for the rest of their lives. Miss Coco the Don, I know women like to have selective hearing and like to hear only things that they want. But listen very carefully. Some men should never be with a woman for the rest of their lives. Some men are only capable to be with one woman for the rest of their lives. Some men are able to be with more than one woman. Read the next part of her question.
Come. But does not have to prove.
No, provide.
Salaki. But does not have to provide of all of them.
According to Isaiah chapter 4, right? In that day, the women would provide for themselves as long as they're known and called by that man's name. Now, of course, listen, realistically, the job of a priest, the priest of a Lord, his one wife is this truth. We'll get that in the scripture as well. For the priest in the ISUPK, this is our only wife. Our only wife. Some of you may not understand that, but this is what we're dedicated to. This is what's more important than family and friends. This truth right here. The word of God is our one wife. This Bible is our wife. Doing the will of God is our wife. This is what our wife is. Right? Now, as a man, of course, you would provide for your woman, your wives. You got to guide them spiritually, emotionally, physically. Women need guidance. Women are like children and need guidance. That's why a father is responsible for her daughter and picks a man that's going to be responsible for her as a woman. Right? I need you to pay attention, all right?
Come.
Keep reading.
Come. Or none of them. A man is to just protect.
A man is more than just to protect. Listen, women want protection. What woman wants to walk down the street at night all alone? No woman. Maybe a LGBTQ woman that's transforming it into a man, right? Every woman wants a man to protect her. Every woman wants a man to be there when she is hurt, needs a shoulder to cry on, to talk to. Every woman needs guidance. That's why a father is important to a young girl. A man is what a father is to a daughter is equivalent to what a man is to a woman. A father does everything for his daughter, watches her, protects her, helps her, guides her, helps her grow. That's what a husband does for his woman. All right, you can drop that.
Come.
Let's get back to the article.
Come. Share. All right. Article. You want me to start from the top, sir? Because we only read like
no,
two
start from the
sentences.
second line.
The second line, come. Here we go. They did have sexual access to as many slaves as they could afford.
So these Romans, although they can only marry one woman at a time, they had sexual access to as many slaves as they could afford. kind of like the white man here in slavery, right? Master got 20 slaves, 15 of them are women. The master can have sex with all 15 female slaves. And it's okay even though he has a wife. Because a slave was considered property. A slave was not considered a freeborn person in Roman society. That man can sleep with as many slaves as he wants. And just to let you know, that Roman man can sleep with his male slaves too. Because Roman culture pushed and promote monogamy, but Roman culture also pushed homosexuality. Roman culture also pushed pedophilia. Many people don't like to admit that on why that's such a problem here in the United States. We have this push of the LGBTQ community that's running rampant, and you got to respect them. You have to respect the LGBT community here in America. You just have to. But then you have to wonder, well, if two men sleep with each other, they can't get pregnant, produce no baby. If two women sleep with each other, they can't get pregnant and have a baby. If a man cuts off his rod and testicles to become a woman and sleeps with another man, he can't get pregnant. If a woman removes her ovaries and tries to get a penis and cuts off her breast, she can't get pregnant. So how is the LGBTQ community growing? Simple. They're preying on your children. It's called pedophilia. That's how the LGBTQ community expands itself, by preying on your children. So women are concerned about me having 2-3 wives, but not concerned with the LGBTQ community preying and hunting on their children. Because if I sleep with a woman, we can make a baby. If two men sleep with each other, they can't make a baby. If two women sleep with each other, they can't make a baby. But me and my women, we can make babies. As many babies as the Lord allows. But now our babies are at risk of being preyed upon by that LGBTQ community, because that's the only way it grows. You want to say something?
Oh, Khan, if I may, that's where they did mentors. They was lovers and an apprentice.
Yep, that's where you get mentors from the Roman society.
Khan.
A mentor was a grown man from an affluent background who took on a mentee, someone younger than him, a young boy, to show him the ropes and to sleep with him. You want to say something?
I want to make sure I heard you properly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you say the only way the LGBT community can
Grow
is to prey on the children?
Is to prey on children.
By growing numbers?
Yes, for more homosexuals,
Okay.
a man who's a homosexual has to prey on a child.
To make that child
homosexual. For there to be more lesbians, that lesbian has to prey on that child for there to be more lesbians. That's how the LGBT community continues to expand. Got it?
retired from the school system. In 2017, I started seeing what seemed to me the beginning of this trend.
Yeah.
You know, particularly
in the school
what
systems.
they call the charter schools primarily. They were really out there.
Yeah, putting the LGBT flag all over the place.
Right.
Listen, I used to work at this after school program, and they had a class that was about an hour and a half long called intersectionality. Intersection. That's one of the key words that these LGBTQ community and their agenda utilizes. Intersectionality, where it talks about different walks of life and different issues that we all face. I sat there and had to intervene these counselors because they were questioning this boy's decision on why he likes girls. So what is this 15-year-old boy? So what is your sexual preference? I like girls. How do you identify your gender? I'm a male. I'm a man. Have you ever thought about being sexually attracted to another man, to another boy? Now, these are grown adults speaking to a child, a 15-year-old teenager, which is a child. Have you ever had thoughts about being with another boy? No, I like girls. But why do you like girls? Because that's what I like. But who taught you that you can only like girls? I had to sit there and eventually I had to stop and interrupt them because I can see the shame on this young man's face. I can see the discomfort that this kid was going through by trying to tell them that he's a boy, he's a young man, and he only is attracted to girls. And that's it. But for 5-6 minutes, they kept drilling him with questions on why, instead of accepting the fact that this is what he likes.
How you're explaining it, it seemed that initially he was strong in his position and almost making mockery of them. You know, why you asking me something silly? But then they wore him down, it seems to me.
Oh no, he stuck to his guns, and that's when I had to interrupt because how many times you gonna?
Shame. He seemed to start feeling shame.
Like he started to feel embarrassed on why you keep asking me this. So I had to step in and stop it. And of course, I got in trouble. I had to go into the office to talk about the incident that happened, even though that kid came up to me after class and thanked me. Thanked me because he didn't understand why they were coming at him for identifying as a male and only liking the sexual preference of women. This is what they're doing in our schools. This is how the LGBTQ community grows. But women, especially you Black and Hispanic women, you single mothers, you will accept your son being a homosexual. You will accept your daughter being part of the LGBT community, but you can't accept a man having more than one woman. You cannot accept 3 women dating the same man, but you will accept your son wanting to be a transgender person. You can accept that. Keep going.
Khan. The practice was common in both Greek and Rome and was seen as a way for these men to increase their power and status.
So the fact that these Greeks and Roman men were able to sleep with have multiple sex partners by meaning they're slaves, sleeping with their slaves, it was to help benefit and increase their image. Keep going.
Khan. While it may not have been the most moral of practice, it was certainly a common one.
Listen, it definitely wasn't a moral practice because the Romans had no morals.
That's right.
The Greeks had no morals. And it was a common practice amongst the Greeks and Romans. Keep going.
Khan. Oh, man. Did I do that? Oh, here we go. The Roman emperor was established the first anti-polygamy law in the 3rd century.
So you can thank the Romans who made anti-polygamy laws in the 3rd century. And that's why here in America, a man is only legally able to marry one woman because they made it illegal in the 3rd century during Roman rule. It was illegal for a man to have more than one wife or be with more than one woman at a time. It was illegal then just like white people made it illegal today here in America. Keep going.
Go. Denounce the practice as a unnormal.
Read it correctly.
Denounce the practice as unnormal.
No, unnatural.
It's like unnatural.
Read it again.
Denounce the practice as unnatural.
It was what?
Denounce the practice as unnatural.
Just say the word. It was what?
Unnatural.
The Romans said that a man having more than one woman is what?
Unnatural.
The Romans said that a man having more than one wife is what?
Unnatural.
America is considered what?
Unnatural.
Well, let's go into how natural it really was. I want you to go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 19. Let's start there. Let's see how natural a man having more than one wife is.
Genesis chapter 4,
verse 19.
Verse 19.
Let's see how natural it was for men in the Bible to have more than one wife. Go ahead, read.
Come. Let me share this. And Lamech took upon him 2 wives.
What?
Took upon him 2 wives.
Lamech had what?
2 wives.
That was natural. That was very natural. Read it again.
Come.
What? Read it from the top.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 19. And Lamech took upon him 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada.
So one of his wives, one of his women's name was Ada. Keep going.
And the name of the other, Zillah.
So Lamech had 2 wives because it was natural. Right? Drop that.
Come.
Let's go to Genesis chapter 29.
Come. You say Genesis 29, sir?
Genesis chapter 29.
Come. Genesis chapter.
I know you don't have to read that. Just get it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I know women out there on this class watching it, upset. How are you going to say men can have more than one wife? Well, that's because you are dumb. I'm going to say it again. You are dumb because you're so focused on what's happening today that you don't understand how today happened. Let me say that a little bit slowly for you women. You're so focused on today that you don't understand how today happened. You don't understand what was done that is affecting you today. You don't understand, nor do you care about your ancestors being slaves and sexually violated in slavery. You don't care that your ancestors had this land invaded by our oppressors. You don't care that we had to flee for our lives back in Jerusalem. You don't care that we were slaves to the Romans, that they fed our children to lions and tigers, that they forced our men to fight to the death, that they made prostitutes and whores out of your mothers. You don't understand how today was made. You're dumb. But here's a chance. Why don't you put your emotions to the side and start paying attention to everything that's being said? Don't just be all in your feelings. Try for the first time in your life to understand things, to understand what's being said in its totality, not picking and choosing what sounds nice. Go ahead.
Come. Genesis chapter 29, verse 1.
16.
Oh, you want 16, sir?
Yes.
Come.
Verse 16.
Yeah, verse 16 real quick. Genesis chapter 29, verse 16. And Lahab had 2 daughters.
What?
Had 2 daughters.
Lahab, the uncle of Jacob. Keep going.
The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel.
So Lahab had 2 daughters, Leah and Rachel. Keep going.
Come. Verse 17. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
So Rachel was very beautiful. Leah wasn't as beautiful as her sister. She was tender-eyed. She was a little sore in the eyes. Right? Keep going.
Verse 18. And Jacob loved Rachel.
Who?
And Jacob loved Rachel
Jacob loved Rachel. Keep going.
and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
So Jacob told his uncle, listen, I'll work for you for 7 years. Right? I'll work for you for 7 years doing whatever you need me to do so I can marry your youngest daughter, Rachel. Keep going.
Come.
Now, for that sister that asked, a man doesn't have to provide for his woman or something along those questions, right?
Come.
This man is willing to provide for that woman's father just so he can be able to marry that woman. You think he's going to stop providing for that woman once that woman is his? I'm going to work 7 years to marry this woman, and I'm going to work for her father just so I can marry her. And once she's mine, I'm going to just stop working. No. Keep going.
Come. Verse 19. And Lahab said,
Laban.
Salaki. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me.
So Laban says, you know what? I think that's a great idea. It's better that I give my daughter to you than to some other man. So come stay with me. Come live with me. Come serve me for 7 years and you can marry my daughter. Keep going.
Come. Verse 20. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel.
How many years?
7 years for Rachel.
Jacob slaved and worked for 7 years just to be able to marry Rachel. Keep going.
And they seemed unto them but a few days.
Seemed unto him.
Unto him but a few days. For the love he had to her.
Right? And those 7 years went by like a blink of an eye because of how much love he had for Rachel. How much he wanted to marry Rachel. Keep going.
Come. Verse 21. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me thy wife.
My wife.
My wife. For my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
Right. And Jacob said after the 7 years, time's up. I paid what was asked. These 7 years, now I want my bride. We made an agreement that I would work for you for 7 years, and then in return, I would be able to marry Rachel. That time is today. Keep going.
Come. Verse 22. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
There was a big party for the wedding. Keep going.
Come. Verse 23. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter.
Was it Rachel?
Leah, his daughter.
So Jacob was supposed to marry Rachel. But what did Laban do?
Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her.
So after the night of partying, of celebrating this marriage to Rachel, Laban ends up bringing Leah, his oldest daughter, to have sex with Jacob. Not Rachel, Leah. Keep going.
Come. Verse 24. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for an handmaid.
So, along with Leah, Laban gave Zilpah to be the handmaiden for Leah. Keep going. Keep going.
Come. I had a question.
What's the question now?
My question was on that. So you said Leah came with a maid?
Yeah, her own servant.
All right, that's what I want. Come. Verse 25. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah.
So listen, Jacob wakes up. A night of partying, just married the love of his life. He wakes up, rolls over to get you know, maybe get some good morning loving, and it's Leah, not Rebecca. Keep going.
Khan. And he said to Laban.
So he gets up out of the tent, walks, finds Laban, and says to Laban, keep going.
What is this thou hast done unto me?
He said, what the F is going on here? What the F is this? Keep going.
Did not I serve with thee for Rachel?
Didn't we make a effing agreement that I would work 7 years to marry Rachel? I'm supposed to be married to Rachel. Instead, I wake up and there's Leah in my bed instead of Rachel. Keep going.
Therefore, then haste, thou beguiled me.
Why are you messing with me? Why did you trick me, deceive me? Keep going.
Khan. Verse 26. And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
Laban told him, listen, the way we do things here in this land, the oldest daughter is supposed to be married first. I can't give you the youngest daughter when the oldest daughter is still husbandless. So check it out. You worked for Rebecca, you worked for Rachel 7 years. I had to give you my older daughter Leah first. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 27. Fulfill her week.
Listen, check it out. All you gotta listen, check this out. Be her husband, fulfill the weekly obligations of a husband. Sleep with her, love her, be romantic with her. Keep going.
And we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
You know what? After this week, I'll give you Rachel, but you're going to have to work another 7 years. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 28. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week.
So Jacob did what husbands do for a newly married couple for a whole week. And then Rachel was given to him to be his second wife. Keep going.
So Lockie, so I have a question.
Yeah.
If I may, Rachel was never on the agreement. So if
Rachel was always the agreement.
I mean, not Rachel.
Leah wasn't.
Leah was never an agreement.
Correct.
So if Leah was never agreement, why he feel obligated to still be married to Leah?
Because sex is marriage. Sex is marriage. That's why. You getting a piece of paper and from the courthouse means nothing. You having a whole wedding ceremony and your ex-man is your husband's best man and all that means nothing. Sex is marriage. Keep going.
Oh, and one more thing.
Hold on, just keep going on.
Oh, Khan. And he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also.
Now, it didn't say to leave Leah and to just be with Rachel. It said he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. Also is in addition. So now he's married to Leah and he's married to Rachel. Nowhere in here are you going to see that he gets rid of Leah, that he's no longer married to Leah. His first wife is Leah, and he's also married to Rachel, right? Keep going.
Khan. Verse 29. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid.
And Rachel also came with her own servant, her own handmaid. And just to make you single women mad, And all you women that swear that a man can't have more than one woman, listen, those daughters, Leah gave her handmaiden to Jacob, her husband, to be his wife too. To be his wife too. Jacob had sex with Leah's handmaiden. You want to know something else? Rachel also gave her handmaiden to be the wife of Jacob too, and Jacob had sex with Rachel's handmaiden. Jacob had 4 wives. Jacob was having sex with 4 women. Not at the same time, because that's unlawful, but Jacob was having sex with them one at a time. That's how the nation of Israel was created. That's how we got the 12 sons of Jacob. These 12 sons of Jacob came from something that was so very natural. The Romans said that a man having more than one wife was unnatural, and they made laws against it. Well, according to the Bible, it was natural for Jacob to have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 women. He had sex with 4 women. He took care of 4 women. And those 4 women gave him 12 sons. And those 12 sons created the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. We descend from those 12 sons. From one man and 4 women, we got a whole nation of people. You want to say something?
Oh, Khan. It sounds like that Rachel and Leah came with their own handmaid, not Jacob handmaid, but it was
That's
it
what
was
says.
there. Yeah, it was there. You know, they had ownership.
That's what
They came with their own money in this relationship.
Yep. That's what a servant is. You need a servant equals wealth. Leah had a handmaid, a servant to do things for her. Rebecca had a servant to do things for her. And all 4 women did things for Jacob. Right? Drop that and go to 1 Samuel chapter 1.
Khan.
Let's get some more examples of how natural it is for a man to have more than one woman according to the Bible. Now keep in mind, a man can have more than one woman according to God. A man can have only one woman according to God. Or a man can have no women according to God. I bet you women probably only heard the first part, which is a man can have more than one woman, and you're angry. But listen to the other part too. A man can have one wife. That the rest one's right there. A man can have no wives.
You said 1 Samuel chapter 1?
Chapter 1.
Oh, Khan, got it. 1 Samuel's chapter 1, verse 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Zachariah.
Nope.
Elkanah. Elkanah, the son of Jeroboam, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, and
Ephrathite.
Ephrathite.
An Ephrathite.
Come. Verse 2. And he had 2 wives.
Yeah, what?
2 wives.
Listen, check the door, make sure no one's smoking out there in Bubba Shun. It says, and he had not 1, but 2 wives. That's how natural it was. That he had 2 wives. All right? No sweat. No sweat. He had 2 wives. That's very natural. Keep going.
Come. The The name of the one was Hannah,
So one of his wives' name was Hannah. Keep going.
and the name of the other, Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children.
So this man had two wives, which was natural. One had children, one didn't have children, right? Go on to verse 3.
Come. Verse 3. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Most High of hosts and Shiloh.
It's like is the Lord.
Oh, you want to put say the Lord?
That's
All
what
right.
it is, the Lord.
The Lord of hosts and Shiloh. And the two sons of Ella, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. Verse 4. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife, and to all her sons and her daughters
portions. So look, here's an example of a man providing for his wife. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 5. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion.
Oh, look at this. Here's another example of this same man providing even more for his other wife. So men, we do provide. It's something natural that men do for their women. And you know what else is natural? What else is natural is that a man can have more than one wife. Right? I want you to go jot that and go to Exodus 21 and 10.
Come. Exodus.
Here's an example of that. Right? He has one wife, Peninnah, who's giving him sons, and he has one wife, Hannah, who's barren. He gave a portion to Peninnah, and he gave an even worthy portion to Hannah. Keep going.
Come. Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife.
If he does what?
If he take him another wife.
So here we have Elkanah, who has a wife. Because how can he take another wife if he already doesn't have a wife? Keep going.
Come. Her food.
Her what?
Her food.
How she survives.
Her food. Her
raiment.
Raiment.
Her clothing, what she wears to keep warm, stay warm, to survive. Keep going.
In her duty of marriage.
And the duty that he owes her as her husband. Keep going.
Shall he not diminish?
He cannot stop providing for his first wife. He cannot stop feeding his first wife. He cannot stop providing for his first wife. He cannot stop being a husband and fulfilling the roles that a husband does for his women. Even if he gets another wife, he can't stop doing what he's already obligated to do. That's a law. See, what time is it? The time is 8:47 p.m. and around 7:15, I posed a challenge to anyone that could provide a scripture that shows how it is a sin. And I was very specific. I challenged anyone to provide a scripture that shows it is a sin for a man to have more than one wife. Because here, is a law that a man, even if he gets a second wife, another wife, even if he gets a third wife, which is another wife, even if he gets a fourth and a fifth and a sixth wife, which is still another wife, he cannot stop doing the duties of a husband to his other previous wife. He cannot stop feeding his previous wife. He cannot abandon his role as the husband to his previous wives. Okay. Keep reading. No, sorry, you can stop there. Go back to the article, Bubba Shaw.
Come on. All right.
The Roman emperors. You can start there.
Roman. Oh, the Roman emperors who established the first anti-polygamy law in the 3rd century denounced the practice and unnatural and dangerous placing it.
So they called having more than one woman unnatural and dangerous practice. Meanwhile, in the Bible, it was very natural, and it was a successful and wise practice, because not only do these women get taken care of, they get fed, they get the love of a man, they get the protection of a man, they're able to have children with this man, they're able to be loved by this man, they're able to grow old being called by this man's name. That seems very safe, not dangerous. What woman would not want these things from her husband? How is this unnatural when throughout the Bible it is very natural for women to have the same man? Keep reading.
Come on. Placing it in the same category as, I can say that right now.
You're reading the document.
Come on. Rape and incest.
They try to say the Romans passed laws against having more than one wife and said that it was in the same category as sexually assaulting or molesting someone or sleeping with your own sibling. Incest. Keep going.
Con. Polygamy was punished by death.
They said polygamy was punishable by death in Roman society in the 3rd century during Roman rule. If you have 2 wives, we gotta put you to death. Oh, you got 3 wives? We gotta put you to death. Oh, you're practicing the customs of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you have 3 wives? We gotta put you to death. Keep reading.
Con. This is in contrast to the modern day, where polygamy is more acceptable in some cultures.
Now, I was saying that today's day and age, polygamy is more acceptable. We practice polygyny, where a man can have more than one wife, because in the Bible, it talks about polygyny, a man having more than one wife. We don't do the polyandry or whatever that is, where a woman can have more than one husband. That's what the LGBT community is for.
Is that what polygamy is?
Polygamy is the practice of marrying more than one spouse. So polygamy, gummy, is having more than one spouse.
So a woman,
Polygyny, the junny, is a man having more than one woman.
so a woman having more than one husband can be polygamy.
Is categorized under polygamy.
Okay.
It's called polyandry, something like that.
Yeah, no, you had it right. Polyandries.
We don't practice that. That's whoredom.
Right.
For all you women that think, I'm a strong independent woman, and whatever a man can do, I can do. Listen, you want to go and marry and have 7 rods inside your vagina and not knowing whose child this is? Listen, you go live your life. We're gonna live our life righteously according to the Bible. Keep going.
Con. This
hold on. I want you to scroll down. Scroll down to where it says the Romans share their wives.
Come. Did Romans share their wives? Marriage in ancient Rome was a strictly monogamous institution.
And that's where America gets it from, because America is a strictly monogamous institution for the practice of marriage. Keep going.
Come. A Roman citizen by law could have only one spouse at a time.
Just like here in America, by law, you can only have one spouse at a time. You have to leave that spouse, divorce that spouse, get rid of that spouse if you want to be with another person. Keep going.
Come. The practice of monogamy, how you say that?
Distinguished.
Distinguished the Greeks and Romans from other cultures.
Other ancient cultures.
Other ancient
civilization. Sorry.
Other ancient civilizations in which elite males typically had multiple wives.
So in other ancient civilizations like ours, elite males, we didn't just have elite males having more than one wife. Males were able to have more than one wife. Keep going.
Come. The age of 7 was picked out by lawyers as the minimum age for consent.
Yes. The age of 7 was picked out by lawyers as the minimum age for consent. This means that the consent, there had to be a minimum age where consent to engage in marriage and have sex was allowed. You're so busy about a man having 7 women that you're not worried about the age of consent. Scroll down. And so other than this is all just more nastiness.
Yes.
Go open up the second link I sent you in the email.
Come.
We got 5 minutes left.
Let me see.
The first email.
You want this one?
The first email.
This one? All right.
The second link.
Second link. Gotcha.
Share this.
Come.
Oh, what does this say?
Come. Homosexuality.
What?
Homosexuality.
What?
Homosexuality.
Homosexuality where?
In ancient Rome.
Listen. You don't want to share your man, but you're okay with your son being a homosexual. Because Rome didn't want to have men to marry more than one woman, but they allowed homosexuality. Right? Let's scroll down to let's scroll all the way down to male and male sex.
Come.
Keep scrolling. Keep going. Almost there. Right there.
There we go.
Male and male sex. Homosexuality in ancient Rome. Keep reading. Go ahead.
Come. Male and male sex. Rules.
Roles.
A man or boy.
A what?
Or boy.
A man or a boy. You know what a boy is? A boy is your son who's not considered a man yet. That means under the age of 18, a boy. Keep going.
Who took the receptive role.
The what?
Receptive role.
That means the man or the young boy who took the catcher's role, who took the receiver's role, who was the person that had rod stuck in his rectum. That's the receptive role. Keep going.
And sex was variously called. Was it
these are all these Greek words, all these Latin words. Sinatus,
Sinatus.
Pathicus, Exolatus, Concubinus. All these words. Go down to where it says as Amy Richland. The last sentence in that paragraph.
Comic-Con as Ainley Richmond. Oh, as Ainley Richmond has note, gay is not exact. Penetrated is not self-defined. Passive, misleadingly. Connote. Inaction. In translation, this group of words into English.
It says some terms such as exoletus specifically refer to an adult. Romans who were socially marked as masculine did not confine their same-sex penetration of male prostitutes or slaves to those who were boys under the age of 20. Some older men may have at times preferred the passive role. Marital describes, for example, the case of an older man who played the passive role and let a younger slave occupy the active role. Right? If we scroll back up, scroll all the way back up. Go to the first paragraph where it says Roman men. Scroll all the way up. Go down. It's going to say Roman men.
Oh, right here.
Yep, right there. Read that.
Comic-Con. Roman men was free to enjoy sex.
What?
Roman men was free to enjoy sex.
It says that Roman men were free to enjoy sex. Keep going.
With other males.
With what?
With other males.
Free to enjoy sex with other men. Roman men were able to enjoy sex with other men. Keep going.
Without a perceived loss of masculinity.
With what?
Without a perceived loss of masculinity.
Keep going on.
Oh, or social status.
So men were allowed to have sex with other men and not be seen as weak or effeminate or lose their social status. Keep going.
As long as took the dominant or
penetrative
role.
So basically what is meaning here, that a man that's putting his rod into another man's or boy's behind, that man who's serving, who's pitching, right? It says that he did not lose any masculinity by him penetrating someone else. He didn't lose, put your hand down. He didn't lose his social status by putting his rod into a young boy's behind. Keep reading.
Comic-Con. Acceptable male partners was slaves.
So an acceptable partner for a man to have sex with were slaves. Keep going.
And former slaves.
Keep going.
Prostitutes.
Keep going.
And entertainers.
So a man can have sex with all these other men if they were slaves, former slaves, prostitutes, entertainers, as long as this man was the one that was putting his rod into their behind. He kept his social status, he kept his integrity, he kept his reputation, he kept his masculinity. Right? Scroll down to the next paragraph.
Oh, Comic-Con. Would you want overall?
No, next paragraph.
Next paragraph. Comic-Con. Who lifestyle?
No.
Oh no.
Next paragraph.
Oh, same sex?
Yes.
Oh, Comic-Con. Same sex relations among women are far less documented.
But it happened. It happened, right? Let me see if I can get more points here. That's enough. That's too much nastiness for me. So listen, go back to StreamYard. You can close everything else out. Perfect. Don't worry about that. So listen, for all you women that are so concerned with a man having more than one wife, just remember a man can also have one wife. Also remember that a man could have no wives. A man could be alone. Some men deserve to be alone for the rest of their life because they're not fit to be responsible over a woman. Some men only should be with one woman for the rest of their life because they're not fit to be able to help manage and be responsible for other lives. And some men are able to have more than one woman because they are able to take care of those women, provide for those women, right? And with that, I'm Priest Ashargapan of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. And since 1969, we've been teaching the truth according to this Bible. That so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Americans, we are the real children of God. Black women, Hispanic women, Native American women, you are the real daughters of Zion. Right? And with that, shalom. So just stay there. Just stay there. You don't gotta move. You ain't gotta move all that. Just stay there.
Come. ISUPK security announcements.
No, just leave it just like that.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK. Start off at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we got the 51st Passover and 55th. 55th Passover in Durham, North Carolina on April 20th. Let me see here. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, boots, shirt, pants, handbands, or scarf. And with that, men of Israel, we're gonna give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Majum, which means the stand. Come. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat, Amajum, Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Rakatham. Yazmatah, class dismissed.
Just end it. Don't close it out, okay?